Danny Miller was born with 2 strong, healthy legs. And if he had known about the one food that kills diabetes, he might be walking today. But late last year, doctors took a knife to his right leg, amputated half of it, and left Danny with a stump for the rest of his life. That's because Danny was one of 9 million Americans who have type 2 diabetes, but don't know it. Danny only discovered his diabetes after he went to his doctor complaining of pain in his foot and leg. That's when he was diagnosed. But by then it was too late. His out-of-control blood sugar had been rampaging for years inside his body, pummeling the delicate blood vessels in his limbs. Until his circulation got so bad his leg had to be amputated or it would have literally rotted. Hi, I'm Dr. Marlene Merritt, and when I read Danny's story in the news this morning, I counted my blessings that I was able to spot and correct my blood sugar problems in time. And how lucky I am that I discovered how one tasty food can stop diabetes in its tracks. In places where this food is regularly eaten, diabetes and obesity are virtually unknown. But when they've stopped eating it, the rates of diabetes and obesity skyrocket. This food ends sugar cravings, melts away fat, and delivers long-lasting energy without spiking your blood sugar. But chances are, you won't hear a doctor mention it. That's why stories like Danny's are becoming more common every day. By the way, Danny is a real person from Texas, but I changed his name to protect his privacy. If you've been diagnosed with diabetes, I know how frustrating it can be, because nobody wants to end up with amputations or blindness or kidney failure or heart disease or stroke or any of the other painful complications and diseases that are closely linked to out-of-control blood sugar, even cancer and Alzheimer's. We're ready to do whatever our doctor tells us. Take the meds, count the carbs, test our levels constantly, and that's when we realize, when you live with diabetes, suddenly it's like you have a second full-time job. But instead of paying you, this extra job drains hundreds of dollars a month in test strips, lancet needles, insulin shots, medication, extra lab tests, and those panicky races to the emergency room if you get too low. And most people don't understand, even well-meaning friends and family. They might sigh in frustration when you go out to a restaurant and you take a few extra minutes to scour the menu, looking for something that won't send your blood glucose skyrocketing. You know what they're thinking. Geez, all you need to do is lose a few pounds. With a little discipline, then your diabetes would vanish in a heartbeat. That's what I would do. As if it were that easy. They don't know what a challenge it is to keep your blood sugar in check. They don't know what it's like to wake up every morning with a rigid schedule of testing your levels, exercising, eating before your blood sugar gets too low, taking tablets, testing, making sure you have a healthy lunch prepared before you leave the door, testing again at work, taking another tablet, making sure you replace your lancet and your expensive test strips, and even your endo may not be much help. Giving meager advice about diet, don't eat sweets, stuffing a pamphlet in your face as he's watching the clock for his next patient. Forcing you to look for information yourself, so you turn to the internet. And when you can avoid the horror photos of amputations and gangrenous blackened fingers, you're flooded with confusing information, much of it contradicting each other. Well, if you've experienced anything like this, it doesn't have to be this way. As I said, I'm Dr. Marlene, and in this video, I'm going to share my plan for how you can have healthy blood sugar and even reverse your type 2 diabetes, just by making a few simple changes to the way you eat and move. This solution for healthy blood sugar control works by flipping one tiny switch inside the cells of your body. Flipping this switch even helps type 2 diabetics get off drugs and insulin injections, as you'll see in a moment. Just like John Hyatt was able to do, he completely eliminated his insulin shots in just 3 days. John told us,
I was using long-acting insulin in addition to all my oral meds, but it still wasn't working very well. I was still pretty sick with really high numbers between 2 and 275. And then that's when one Sunday I was given the offer to read this if you want to control your diabetes. So that Sunday night I ate my first meal and I got up in the morning. My blood sugar was 80 points lower than it normally was. The next morning I woke up and I'm probably another 40 points. I'm not going to give myself a shot of insulin tonight. I'm going to bed and I'm already 100 points less than what I normally am. That was my last day that I was on insulin. So I've now been off insulin for 3 months. This program works.
John's pretty happy that he's done sticking himself with a needle twice a day. He's also grinning about all the money he's saving, money that used to go out of pocket to pay for insulin, to the tune of $400 a month. As John put it, that adds up to a Hawaii vacation each year. And John's not alone. Charles W. from Waco, Texas, cut down on his insulin and completely eliminated one of his meds. He told us, "My doctor eliminated one medication, Invokana, and lowered my Levemir insulin from 52 units twice a day to 40 units twice a day. I also have all but stopped injecting Humalog at meals. Dr. Marlene's solution has been a godsend to me." And Robert C. from Canton, North Carolina, who wrote to tell me, "My A1C was 6.9, down from previous visits 7.4, weight down 6 pounds. My doctor took me off Lantus. Blood glucose readings are mostly within normal range, all from using the Dr. Marlene's solution. These kinds of results will stun your doctor." Like Warlin B. from Mountain View, Arkansas discovered. He said, "My doctor had to cut my insulin dosages in half because my blood sugars have gone so low. I went from an A1C of 6.9 to one of 6.3 in 12 weeks, and I was only using Dr. Marlene's solution for the final 6 of those 12 weeks. He says he never heard of such a thing. I also lost 11 pounds in that same period, the only time in the last 30 years I've been able to lose any substantial weight. I brag about your plan to everyone I know. It works and it's so easy. In fact, my diabetes solution is so easy, 81-year-old Richard H. from Cooks, Michigan, says you can do this in your head. He writes, "If you don't like lots of record keeping and you don't want to have to buy exotic foods, you can do this plan in your head. My doctor was very happy with the results. I have also lost 5 pounds, and he said I am in the best health since I started seeing him some 5 years ago. I just celebrated my 81st birthday. Thanks for helping me get my health back." All these people were amazed how simple it is to flip their blood sugar switch, just like I was when I put it to work for myself. This solution rescued me from the threat of diabetes. And in today's free presentation, I'm going to show you exactly how to flip this switch using one tasty shortcut. So keep watching because I think you're going to love it. My patients rave about it. One reason why it continues to work for them year after year is that you don't have to deprive yourself. You won't have to toss out your bread, pasta, or other carbs because this is not a carb elimination plan. When you eat carbs like I do, you don't have to worry about spiking your blood sugar. You won't have to trudge to the gym for 60-minute cardio sessions. You won't need iron willpower to make it work. You won't go hungry. And best of all, you won't be putting any nasty chemicals into your body because this solution is 100% natural. And when you watch this video to the end, I'm also going to spill the beans about a 60-second trick to instant lower blood sugar I use when I want to indulge in a sugary treat, like this slice of blackberry pie. And this has nothing to do with drowning your food in cinnamon or taking cold showers or any silly gimmick you might have seen on the internet. It's just solid science. This trick has been proven to lower blood glucose for up to 24 hours after eating. So make sure you pay close attention. You may even want to grab a pen and paper, because the free information in this video could be taken down at any time. First, a little bit about me. I'm Dr. Marlene Merritt, and I help my neighbors here in Texas reverse chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes with natural solutions. Because I believe that drugs and surgery should only be used as a last resort. But in today's corporate-driven healthcare system, drugs are often the only solution that overworked doctors resort to. I believe there's a better way. Most sugar problems, including type 2 diabetes, can be solved with a natural approach. But I have to admit, I didn't always know this. It embarrasses me a little to admit it, but I nearly had to wreck my own blood sugar to discover this cure. 10 years ago, I started noticing some bizarre problems with my energy level and mood. And though I didn't realize it at first, these were the advanced warning signs of blood sugar problems that, if left unchecked, could put me on the fast track to a diabetes diagnosis. Maybe you were hit with some of the same symptoms long before doctors started throwing the D word around. Symptoms like being tired all the time, especially that afternoon slump that sends you racing for coffee at 2:30. Lack of focus and frequent irritability. Not a fun time for my husband. Weight gain that sticks around or comes back no matter how many diets or sit-ups you try. Intense sugar cravings and a strong need to eat every 2 or 3 hours. These are all SOS signals from your body, waving a red flag that your blood sugar control is breaking down, even though it may take years before it shows up on blood tests like a fasting glucose or an A1C, which is why 1 in 4 type 2 diabetics don't even know they have the disease. That's 8 million Americans walking around right now without a clue that their body's metabolism